right, everybody, this is the moment everybody's been waiting for. People have been freaking out, and we didn't know if it was going to happen because he's such a big deal. Sometimes these big deals, they get busy, but he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, Benedict Cumberbatch. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I'm not that big a deal to not speak to you guys. What are you talking about? It's early where I am.
We have that
happen. Very nice to be on the show.
Oh, it's so good to have you. Sometimes we have, a lot of time, like we have Snooki on the show next week. We know she's probably going to call in because she doesn't have anything better to do. But this week, sometimes when we get somebody we're really excited for, it's like, oh, crap, they had to go to dinner with Brad Pitt and Angelina last night and they stayed out late. So we're excited. And
well, you got me nice and early in LA having a cup of coffee. And, I couldn't be happy to talk to you guys.
Well, so excited to talk to you as well. I just heard about you earlier this week. I was listening to an interview with Zachary Quinto, and he was talking about what a fantastic actor you are, and that you guys both had similar, educations as actors, and you come from the stage, and
right.
He only had fantastic things. A lot of people think that you're kind of standoffish, I think, because they don't know enough about you, and you're kind of mysterious. So the interviewer was asking him, like, if you were kind of weird, and he's like, no, and he called you
really?
Ben. I'm like, who called?
Asking if I was weird.
Yeah, they were like,
that's weird in itself. I don't know. I mean, it's really well. You get this kind of perception that shifts around depending on what kind of characters you play. And I guess I played some pretty out there characters, but no, thank God, Zach had to answer that question because he's a dear friend and a really amazing human being. I mean, just the right soul to play someone as extraordinary as Spock and a gorgeous human being and a great actor to work with. And I know sometimes that happens, and sometimes the English thing or being, having my accent the way it is, I don't know. I can be misperceived as standoffish, and anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm all cute and cuddly.
I think our text line is blowing up with ladies and stuff, and they all agree about the sexy part.
Thank them very kindly from me. Thank you.
Well, I shall. Before we go on to talking about everything, let's at least get to what we need to promote. Now, August, Osage County, fantastic. I mean, for you and I, we are theater people, so we know, that when a play wins a Pulitzer Prize, a huge honor. I mean, and so this is obviously a fantastic story. I mean, great characters, and to make it into a film and cast, I mean, the cast is incredible. Tell people what it's about.
You kind of done it for me. I mean, not what it's about, but it was that extraordinary experience to be asked to be part of this amazing piece of theatre. It really was. It's about the Weston family, this sort of dysfunctional, but God knows aren't all families at some level, dysfunctional family in Oklahoma, in Osage County, and it takes place in August, and it centers around a tragedy that happens to the family, to the figurehead of the family, and it's the fallout of that, and you have the most extraordinary range in age and generational range between granddaughters and grandmothers to have this fantastic canvas of characters just go at each other, and it's ridiculously funny, moving, and really it's a brilliant watch. It's a wonderful piece of theatre, which, as you said, is Pulitzer Prize winning. I mean, it really is a modern classic that Tracy Letts wrote, and part of the great pantheon of American culture and theatre, and an amazing treat as an English actor to be part of that. And I mean, I auditioned for it really ardently. I remember watching the play with my mum and just being blown away by it. And it's a bit of everything. You get a bit of everything. You get everyone's character has a moment and an insight, and you have an understanding and an empathy towards them, and anything that happens to them, it's a great ride to go on. It's a great family to be, watching. Not necessarily would you necessarily want to be at the dinner table when it all kicks off. I think that would be quite a dangerous moment. Say you're on your first date and bringing them home to the Weston family. That could be a little bit alarming, but hopefully it'll make a great watch for the viewers. And you've got just an extraordinary roster of acting talent in it as well, which was mind-blowing to work with. Really inspiring. So
I can't imagine. Travis Lear here, he's a movie reviewer here in our city, and he wants to know, and I think it's because it does kind of sum up my feelings too, but what are your reactions to becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars, and how has that affected your choice in roles? And it's true, and I'm sure you don't. I mean, you seem like a down-to-earth guy. You're probably not going to acknowledge that you're huge, but you are. I mean, you've just exploded so much now. You've got so many projects. You've got all your fans that, they have names. You're like One Direction. Your fans have their own names for themselves, and you have a legion of fans. And what is that like to go from, being kind of just a guy trying to make it in the business, doing your craft, to being somebody that everybody wants and being that in demand? How do you deal with that?
I mean, I think you have to go about it the same way as you did when you were, starting out. You have to. This is how I do it. I'm not preaching the gospel of truth here. This is how I've managed to sort of kind of try and keep my feet on the ground and my head straight with it all. Is to basically treat each job like it's your first job and might be your last, and just work really, really hard with the opportunities you're given, and not get lazy or complacent, and keep trying to make choices that challenge you, and hopefully then confound an audience that's expecting one thing into seeing you in a different light. And as long as there's variety. I mean, one of the reasons I did this is because it's not a desk job. It's not something where you have to clock in, and it's not a 9 to 5. And while there are amazingly varied days at work, this kind of work means that every job is very, very different. So I constantly feel like I'm learning. I constantly feel like I'm evolving and being inspired by the people around me and the people I'm working with and what I'm working on. So as long as that continues, as long as I don't feel stale, and as long as I have enough breathing space to have a bit of downtime, which I'm getting now, despite this flutter of 5 films coming out, I've got a bit of kind of structured time to just breathe and regroup and go back into it all again. And I guess that's it. It's just looking at each opportunity as the first and working really hard to fulfill the promise people have put their faith in with me. So I think that's the way to do it. And I'm really lucky. I grew up in a culture where we were, if we were lucky enough to work as actors, we had the opportunity of stage, theatre, and film, television, and radio. So I kind of want to keep mixing it up like that.
It's fantastic. I mean, the fans are clearly responding to it. We've got Lisa Halpin here who posts about you about every day on Facebook and wants to know if you would marry her. Any chance of marrying a woman from Billings that you've never met or heard of until now?
I don't know. My mum might have something to say about that. She'd like to meet her future daughter-in-law, I think, before I sign the deal blind. But
can we make?
I'm very, very flattered. I'm very flattered.
Can we make Montana your hangout, Benedict? Like, we've got some famous people that come here. It's a beautiful, wide open spaces.
It's a beautiful part of the world. It's a really beautiful part of the world. I've seen the pictures, but I could come and hang out over there. Definitely, why not?
Okay, we'll buy you a ranch or something. I mean, the state will invest in it. It'll be for tourism, just to let everybody know that Benedict Cumberbatch hangs out here.
He's somewhere over there. He's somewhere over there on a horse, on a ranch, somewhere in Montana. Yeah, no, I'd love that. I mean, I work with Chris Cooper, who's he's been a real life cowboy and farmhand, and I've ridden horses a couple of times in films, and most particularly obviously in War Horse. And no, I love the big outdoors. I'd love that. So yeah, you might see me with a 10-gallon Stetson or whatever it is, big old hat, and just riding off somewhere in the sunset near you in Montana.
That would be fantastic. Before we let you go, Benedict, everybody's asking right now, are we going to see, people are saying they weren't even into Star Trek till they saw you in it, you made them a fan. People want to know, are you going to be in the next film? Are you signed on? Is it top secret? Are you out? Any news on the...
the plot is as secret to me as it is to all the fans. I genuinely don't know. But I mean, I had a blast on this outing, and it was really successful. So yeah, I'm sure there might be something in the future of him. But as far as the next one, I have no idea. I think it unlikely in the next film. I really do. But I'm guessing as much as any other fan is. So when they know and when they want people to know, I'm sure they'll scream it from the rooftops. But right now, I'm just in the same position as everyone else, just wondering if I'll come back. But there's a lot of other things for me to concentrate on in the meantime. But it'd be great to reprise him.
You have plenty going on. Well, hopefully we'll get the opportunity in the future to talk to you about more projects, Benedict. It's been such an honor. Sherlock premieres on PBS January 19th, August, Osage County. Fantastic film. And then the other 67 amazing films Benedict has coming out in the next few months. Check those out as well. It's been such an honor, Benedict Cumberbatch. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you in the future. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you very much.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.